We're gonna cover these topics in this video. We're gonna set up domain, we're gonna generate SSL certificate for that domain, add firewall, add more security. Also, we're gonna set up PHP FPM. We're gonna set up monitor server that can monitor our server, web server. Also, one more thing we're gonna set up, that is C group resource limit. We will get to know about these things in this video. Yeah. First, we're gonna go and set our host name. So what will be our host name is depending upon our domain subdomain, a domain subdomain. Basically, so here is my domain hostingwallet.com, and now I created a subdomain a record, that is server.hostingwallet.com, and I also created cname for this one. All right, and I'm using Cloudflare, but you can use your own DNS server. So what's gonna be happen when I point this one hosting wallet? Basically I got redirected to CW Pro. I need to just I will not use as proxy because of the SSL issues. That's why our server is down. So now let's get started. So first I'm gonna set the host name. So host name server dot hosting wallet.com. That's correct. Now I'm gonna add few things. I'm gonna add, I'm gonna edit our host. So now here I'm gonna do one thing. What's our server IP? This is our server IP. hostingwallet.com. That's it. We're gonna save it. Now we are done for this one. Now let's get started and do our server thing. First we will set up our host name so we can easily generate. So here if you see, we almost done with our server hostingwallet.com. So here you need to type your host name, that is this one, and change host name. We are redirected to CW Pro HTTPS. Now, if everything goes correctly, we will get HTTPS. Now, we will go into edit setting, and this is gonna be our shared IP, which is our server IP. We will not touch it. Now we're gonna create admin @server dot hostingwallet dot com. Yep. We will not want to allow NAT. This is gonna be default, and this will be also all be default. So we're gonna save changes. Now we will go and have a look on the backup configuration. So I don't want daily backups, I want only monthly backups. That's it. We're gonna do the save. It's for the backups. Now another thing we will gonna do is set up our firewall. So we will go into the security. We will go into CSF firewall, and this is gonna be our firewall configuration. But before that one, I'm gonna set up more security. So here you can see the firewall manager is disabled. So first we're gonna enable this firewall manager, and for the best practice I would say restart this one, so it will flush all the changes. So basically if you made any changes in firewall, I will suggest you to restart it. And I will also do one thing, that is update, if in case we received any update in this meantime. So we did not receive any update, so I'm gonna set up more security. So this one is the old rule configuration. Basically I will use Komodo WAF, which is the latest and automatic update. So I'm gonna install that one. So all right, we are done with our security, with our mode security, and we're gonna just updating mode security setting is done. Best thing is to restart Apache server once more, then it's good to go. So now if we go back to in our home dashboard, you can see that most of the red thing has been gone, but we have not set up yet properly because we need to set up PHP also. But in this part, we're gonna cover up these two topics. Also, I would like to cover one more topic, which is very good thing. That is, if we go into security once more, you have two things as C group resource limits and one more thing that is a monet. Monet will comes up in the bar. But let's talk about this one. So what it does basically, like for example, if you receive a lot of requests, so it will automatically crash your domain, or maybe it's your site which is getting so much requests, but it will keep secure the server. That means the server will not crash up. Let's say install service. So here I would like to enable on these two things, CPU, CPU and further memory. And this gonna be done. Here's the policy has been created automatic, so we don't need to do it. We're gonna bind that policy. Also, if you want to add it, like default percentage is like 8. I will go for 80 only. So max it can use the 80. So restart the service. So one more thing is to enable in your system, that is Monet. So what Monet does, for example, if you are running firewall backup, these are the services we are running right now, and the mail service we are not running at all. So what happens when this services auto crashes? Maybe they get stopped, or maybe something appears. So Monet will automatically restart them. So let's work on that one. So if we go in services monitor, so here is Monet monitoring. We now go into this one. So for the Monet, we will go into this one and install Monet, confirm. So it's done. But I'm not gonna set up Monet now. I'm gonna do one more thing, that is add PHP. So I will go into the PHP selector first, and I'm gonna install this PHP latest one for 8.1 and 9.1, and also I'm gonna install 7.4. But keep in mind, this is gonna take a lot of time, a lot. We already installed our PHP version, that is 7.4, 8.0, 8.1, 8.2. It will take some time, so don't worry. Now, as I told you, we need to install PHP selector. Now we will go PHP fpm just to manage the PHP. So we will go and we're gonna install 7.4, 8.0, 8.1, 8.2, and we're gonna save and build. So it also takes some time. So have some rest, grab some coffee, and wait. PHP fpm selector. So most of the work is out done. So now we're gonna do one more thing, that is to select our PHP that should be run default on our server. So here I will choose one PHP. So I will choose the PHP latest one that I installed. That is this one, 8.0. And here, if you need some extension, you can install it. I'm gonna install Radish and Memcache. Save and build. So after this one, we're gonna select our server. So for this one, I'm gonna use Apache server only. But there is a various configuration that you can use, that is Nginx only, Nginx and Apache, and you can also serve their points, like how fast they're gonna perform. but here I'm going to use Apache. For the default one, I'm going to use 8.0 and 8.0, and I'm going to force Apache to use FMP selector. So when you create a user, so they can use PHP 8.0. They have they have option to change, but it's up to you. Into our PHP version, which is 8.30 now, force PHP is 8.0. We set up Apache server, everything sorted out. But as I told you that I'll be not set up monit till now, so I'm gonna set up monit now. So I will go into the service configuration. So I will go into the monit setting now, monit monitoring. So I have been already installed this one. So what I'm gonna do, so basically automatically this bin configuration file added in this one. I'm gonna add this configuration files like these services which have been running. So we are using MySQL. So for example, for some reason MySQL has been stopped in the meantime in server. So Monit will gonna monitor it and automatically restart it and fix needed, that is meme cache. I want meme cache in this CWP network, yeah, CWP system. Nginx antivirus, claim these antivirus, mail policies. Of course, you can select mail policies because we're gonna set up the mail server in the meantime. FTPD, STPD, varnish, firewall. Yes, firewall is the most important thing. CWP, SRV. These are these things related to the mail server. So it's PM 7.0. If we are using 7.4 Tomcat, Postfix, yes, SSD, yes, Postgres, we are not going to FPM 5672. No, we are not interested in this one. PHP FPM, Dovkit, yes. Anything else is log? No. MongoDB configuration, yes. And we're gonna click on these two arrows. Yep, now it's done. We're gonna say click on start. Now action is performed. We will click on one more thing, that is reload and restart. If we go into the manage services, it will take some time. The service is gonna appear here only. So you can see these are the configuration we loaded. So give him some time.